welcome back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, I actually want to share with you guys my tips on how to get out of a reading slump. I found myself in a reading slump this past December. I just focused on reading our book club pick for, the Unsung Black book club, and I just could not get myself into reading. The month that we are currently in, January, have begun to read, and now I'm out of that slump. So I want to share you guys the tips that I used to get out of that reading slump back in December to now reading full-time in January. All right, so let's just get started. So first, I would say take that break. Don't stress about why you are not reading. There is a reason why, okay? Take the break. That's all I'm gonna say. Take the break. Next, I would say evaluate why you got into this reading slump. Was it the last book that you read? Was it the subject matter that got you in the reading slump? Or sometimes you just get into a reading slump. So for me, last month, I can't even tell you why I got into a reading slump. Get this urge where I don't want to read, you know what I mean? And I am an avid reader, but I always stress to you guys about not reading every single day. You don't have to read every single day. Read often, but don't read every single day. There's some days I don't feel like reading no book. I just want to sit, chill, watch some TV. You know what I mean? So I'm not a person that reads every single day, and I am totally fine with that. There have been times where I've gotten a reading slump and I have evaluated why, and it's like, okay, it was that last book I read where it was heavy. Sometimes, well, not sometimes. I read a lot of heavy books, trauma-filled books, a lot. So that can just be very monotonous, and it can get to you. And it's like after I read so much, I get in that slump and I'm like, okay, I know why. I just read about, somebody's daughter getting killed or something like that. Then I have to, evaluate and put those on the side and say, okay, you're not gonna read about nobody getting shot, read something else. Next, I would say watch an adaptation of a book or a series, because it might spark your interest into reading that book or that series, or it might prompt you into reading something of that particular subject matter. I remember one time when I was in a reading slump, I watched Waiting to Excel. That is a book that was turned into a movie. And so after watching that, I was like, you know what? I want to read that again. Let me out of that reading slump. Also, I remember when I was watching that, I started reading, after I finished reading Waiting to Excel, I started reading books by women during like the 90s, because there was a resurgence of Black literature, especially Black women literature during the 90s. So I started reading some Connie Briscoe, started reading some Elin Harris, he's a male author, Eric Jerome Dickey, and it got me out of that reading slump just from watching that movie. So try that, because it might help. So now we've taken our break. We have evaluated why we got in this reading slump. We started watching movies and TV shows, okay, to get us back in the groove of reading. Now, let's actually sit down and read, okay? But we're still in that reading slump. We're still not ready to pick up and read a book. So what I do is I will pick up a book that was like one of my favorites. I have tabbed and highlight, and I go back and read those passages. I tend to, I don't know why, every time when I'm in my reading slump, I go back to this one book. His Only Wife by Peace Aduze Mindi. This is an author from Ghana, and this is her debut novel. As you can see, I have some tabs here. What I will do is read those tabs, and by me doing that, it gets me back in the mindset of, okay, I'm actually sitting reading a book. So I have a book in my hand, and then I'm reading something that I really like and I really enjoy. And I'll do that for another book I have. Again, I think it's psychological, where I have a book in my hand and I'm turning the pages. And even though I'm not fully reading the book, I am reading passages, but you're still reading. So now we are ready to read, like fully read a book. So read from your favorite genre, okay? This is not a time to explore or to try something new. You are in a reading slump. If you do that, you will get yourself back into a reading slump. So read your favorite genre. For me, it's African literature, it's contemporary fiction, and it's urban fiction. Next, I would say pick up an audiobook, but pick up an audiobook by either your favorite author or your favorite genre, because that is a form of reading. I think some people, when you read the audiobook, sometimes you think you're not reading, but it's like, yeah, you are reading. It's just a different form. It's in your ear. Notice too, when I am in a reading slump, when I do read an audio, I do like to have, just to get me in the groove, in the mindset of having the book, I will have a tangible, copy. So while I'm listening to it, I'm turning the pages too. Again, I know it's psychological, but when I am in a reading slump, I have to have a physical book with me, I need to feel the tangible pages. Okay, I need to turn the pages because it just works that muscle. It gets me back into, oh, I want a physical book. And I'm real old school like that. Y'all know I don't even have a Kindle. Whatever floats your boat, whatever it is to get you out of that reading slump, if you like to read on your Kindle or anything that's electronic, go for it. Because again, our main purpose is we trying to get out this reading slump, okay? And lastly, I would say read a small book. I am all for reading small books because a lot of times you find yourself reading that book in one day and you feel accomplished. You know what I mean? You sat and read a book, even if it was 60 pages or 100 pages, you read a book. And for me, that's how I got started with reading a book in one day. I started reading books. I started reading shorter books. So by me doing that, now I can read, a 300 and some page book in a day. And I could not do that at all. And I was able to do that in a short period of time. I started reading a book in one day in July of 2023, and now it's like you can't tell me nothing. So yeah, read a small book, and while you do that, it will get them juices flowing, and then you just start reading more. And then the good thing about that is, okay, let's say that you read a book that's 100 and some pages in a couple of hours. You could pick up another book that's small and do the same thing, and it's like, girl, you read 2 to 3 books in one day, or 2 to 3 books in a span of a week. That's what I did for December. I started reading smaller books. I started out with a comic. I told you guys about the Saga comics. I read that in one day on Christmas Eve, and by me doing that, I started picking books up. And then January, I'm already 3 or 4 books in. Yeah, guys, that's it when it comes to getting out of reading slump. Again, I cannot enforce enough. This is a hobby. Don't stress out. Don't read every single day. Go, watch some TV, watch a movie, go shopping, do all of that. We're not getting tested or getting a grade on reading, okay? It's fun. So think about it like that. It's not that deep, okay? So yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.